sides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Wow, we're coming up on the 250th anniversary of these United States of America, from the signing of that Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1776, to the Constitution to today. And there's one thing that we've sort of had that whole time. It's kind of interesting. There's a money angle to this. You'll see in a minute. And that's the freedom to speak pretty much as we want to speak. But it does have limitations. And where are those lines, and how do they affect you as an investor? Well, we're going to address that question, or those questions. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Talking Real Money podcast. I'm Don McDonald. That guy over there is Tom Cock. And we're here pretty much every day to make money make more sense and possibly entertain you just a tad with bad humor. And hopefully one of these days you're going to go, wow, look, these guys actually helped out. The proof, though, is we get calls from people who said, I started listening to you like 30 years ago and I'm doing really well. Okay, it worked. So anyway, let's talk about free speech. How free is free speech? Recently, a gentleman by the name of Andrew Left, a relatively well-known short seller who runs a company called Citron Research.
I think right there you should say again, describe short selling.
Short selling means you sell a stock you don't own because you expect it to go down. Now, that is perfectly fine. Anybody can short sell anytime, any place. But some people short sell, and they have the money and the soapbox, and then they write articles slamming the companies that they're short selling. This has been done. This has been done for a long time. Bill Ackman did it. You know, there's a lot of this. Well, Andrew Left recently, in the last few weeks, was convicted of manipulating the stock market for profit, and was guilty of 13 charges where he slammed companies like Roku and NVIDIA and Tesla and made about $20 million. Now he faces about $1 million a year in jail. 25
years. So according to the Justice Department, he made bold public calls on stocks, often using social media, and then exited the trade minutes or hours later.
Right, because what happens,
little moves in the stock market,
is if you have followers tend to do it's built into the word. They tend to follow. And so followers would sell the stocks that he had already shorted.
Yep.
And so what it's in some parlance, it's called front running.
He would influence the future price of that security because he's telling people, get out of this.
Yeah, and then he gets out of it before they realize that they need to get out. So is this legal or illegal? That's the question. Tom and I actually have very different opinions on this.
It's fascinating.
I think that it should be illegal. Pretty much across the board, there's a limit to free speech. And if you are, and he knew, see, here's the thing. It's intent and knowledge. You know, he wasn't just a guy who had a position in his portfolio and wrote an article about it, although even if you do that in the media, you're supposed to say, I have a position in this company. That is a legal requirement. You're supposed to say that. But I think this exceeded that. It's not just free speech, in my opinion. It's manipulating. Is this yelling
fire in a movie theater?
Kind of, no.
Okay.
No, because it doesn't rise to that level of danger. But what he did do was use others to make him a profit, knowing full well that these others would do what he told them to do because they'd done it before.
But he said to do X and he did Y in some cases.
Well, no, he did X first. And then he told them to do X.
Yep.
And then when they did X, he did Y. Because cause and effect. He knows.
So in his mind, he says the criminal case is an effort to regulate financial influencers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You can be a finfluencer all you want as long as you are not playing the stocks you're talking about. But if I said here, wait a minute, we've got an audience of thousands and thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. All right?
Yep.
If I bought a stock today, and I went on this show and I said, oh my God, this is an incredible stock. You got to buy it. And, because 10,000 people put in buy orders, I'm watching the price and it goes up like 15%, boom, like that, and I sell. Should that be legal?
If disclosed, I think you could say yes, right?
I even think it should be no.
Fascinating. Yeah, that we're on the opposite. It's so, but he made
I know I'm using
statements.
you. I know I'm using you, the listeners, to make me money and manipulating the market to do so. I think that's wrong. Am I naive?
I don't
Apparently
know, because that in that same vein, then in some way, short selling itself should be illegal.
No, I disagree. If I don't believe, like I think NVIDIA is overpriced, and I'm not saying I do, and I short sell it, and it goes down, I'm lucky. That's fine. I didn't tell you that I thought it was going to go down and rely on you selling it to make my trade work. That's the difference.
Yeah, and the witnesses they had against him said his words carried special weight because traders thought he had skin in the game.
You got it.
And that's why they said, oh, well, if Andrew's in on this, I'm in. But he had, in many cases, sold out of the position, as you said, kind of along the way or before, whatever it is, to profit by it, and then used other people's trades, they're on their own. They're going against where he actually was at that moment. It's tricky.
And let me ask you this. I know you are a huge advocate of laws that would not allow government employees and members of Congress to trade stocks. Correct?
We'll talk about those numbers, which I think are far more
I want to get to those numbers in a minute. But let me. The question though is the implication. The reason we don't want our representatives and our government officials to own stocks and to buy stocks on their own is because they have knowledge that we don't have, and therefore they could, and of course are. We're not naive. I mean, we're not that stupid. If these guys are making thousands of stock trades, some of them a year, they're making it on knowledge that they got somehow because they're doing really well. They're doing better than your average stock pickers. How is that different? How is that different from this short selling guy?
Question. Yeah, but they aren't doing a head fake with the public, right? They're not saying,
well, kind of. They're kind of doing it. They're taking advantage of knowledge they have before the public gets it.
Well, that's a separate issue to me because that's insider. What he's really doing is using his influence to convince people to do a certain thing and then going against that.
But he's kind of an insider, though. I mean, in the fact that
insider?
he can move money, he can move markets.
Can he?
It's been proven he did, I think.
Because listen to the numbers. The trades he was making were relatively small. I think I read 20 million or something.
Relatively small.
Yeah, in a market where the daily trading is $1 trillion.
Yeah, but still, that's a 20 million here and 20 million there. Pretty soon you're talking real money.
Yeah. There are 70 to 75 million trades a day, roughly. Daily trading volume somewhere around $1 trillion around the globe. Mm-hmm. So I think his impact is pretty – I'm not saying he's innocent, but I think when I read it, I was like, I think this will get overturned on appeal. I don't think
those 75 million trades are in how many stocks?
Well, I don't know
10,000?
how many. Yeah, let's say 10,000 for sake of argument.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
He's making 20 million on trades in one day on one stock.
Yeah.
It puts it in a much, much brighter light, in my opinion.
Yeah, but since you brought it up, I think a far bigger issue is exactly what he said. According to Common Cause, in 2025, members of Congress made 13,324 trades, totaling $630 million. That's shocking.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to get in a little bit of political trouble. This has nothing to do with, I am not deranged, for all of you who support the
slightly deranged.
I am not deranged. I am opinionated, but not deranged. So you said it was 13,000 trades?
13,000 trades. That's right.
In what period of time?
A year.
How many trades were made in Donald Trump's personal brokerage account
I think
last
we
year?
knew this because we talked about it once. Was it 3,000 or something, or 4,000?
Yeah, it was about 3,000. Gee, that seems to me that's about 25% of what the entirety of Congress did.
But his is in a blind trust.
It's not a blind trust. That's the thing. It's not a blind trust.
Oh, boy.
It's not. No, but it literally is not a blind trust. If it was,
I don't know. Typically, it would be. The president would have it in blind trust.
Right, but not in this case.
No. But just to finish my thought on the congressional situation. By the way, Senator Blumenthal, congratulations, you're number one. 406 trades totaling $76 million. Apparently, they don't read much because traders generally don't end up with as much money as people that just buy.
And by the way, Mr. Blumenthal is a Democrat, and I find what he does appalling.
It's shocking.
It is.
You didn't let me finish the thought. In a world, as I was saying, where 86% of the public supports banning Congress from trading.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 people say you shouldn't do it. We should make it illegal. And when it comes up, they always have these excuses like, well, that's not fair to a member of Congress. I think, well, don't they have mutual funds and exchange-traded funds they could put the money in, not pick individual stocks? I think Nancy Pelosi said that when they brought it up last time. It's like, oh, well, that's just unfair to us.
No, it's not. Buy a danged index fund.
I know, but insider information, as you just mentioned, conflicts of interest over the top. I
find it appalling that Democrats and Republicans are doing it. I hate it with a white-hot passion. And by the way, I just checked. Trump's assets are held in a trust managed by his children.
That's right. So it's not blind. And he can sit down every night after
work.
Can
look. He can pull up the numbers. They're right there in front of him.
Yeah.
A blind trust requires an independent trustee, and the office holder is not informed about the investment decisions or the holdings until after the fact.
Yeah, and you imagine what that'd be like, too? You finish the presidency, like, how did I end up doing this last 4 years? Oh, well, sir, I made a really bad bet.
It would probably be better. Unless, of course, there is some nefarious behavior. And the reason we don't like this kind of trading on the part of members of Congress and the executive branch is because there is a whiff of potential impropriety.
You already said there was impropriety. There has to be.
Right. In some cases we know of trades that happened prior to a war breaking out, for example.
Well, there were some oil trades that have been kind of suspicious here the last few months, shall we say.
They happened right before a war started that nobody was supposed to know about because it was, top secret?
Classified?
Congress, Wall Street, the president.
Wake up.
Other officials. You need to act better than everybody else.
I agree.
You need to set a better example for the world. And if you keep doing what you're doing, the example you're setting is that, well, if you can't beat them, cheat them.
And what you're saying about where we started with this about Mr. Left is that this is unfair. And by the way, if it is, and he's been convicted. He's been convicted
of 13 counts.
If it holds, I want an investigation of every finfluencer, all these people that are on the internet, et cetera, promoting this or shorting us, whatever.
Yep.
I want to see their trading record.
I think we should, but it's a huge job. And it would require a massive effort, and I don't think we're willing to do that. But there's a moral, though, to this whole story. No matter what side of it you're on, no matter what you think of the parties involved, there's a moral to this story. And this is a moral that we have carried throughout this program since its inception. And that is, you can't beat these guys. They have too much power for you, a person sitting at home or sitting in your car listening to this podcast without a big audience. That you can't beat them. You don't have the edge, and you probably don't want to cheat. Do you? Maybe you do. I don't know. It sure seems like a lot of people do. Members of Congress. It's cheating. It's cheating. You don't want to admit it because you're greedy. You're just greedy. How much money do you need, really? Any of us. Anyway, I've ranted enough. Send us your questions. And by the way, okay, if you want to give us a bad review for something we said, you listen to the show. You know it's not a 1-star show. At least if you don't like what we say, put in 3 stars. I kind of like the show, but sometimes I don't like what they say. If you're going to do that, okay?
But don't make it 1 star.
1 star means you absolutely hate the show. Then if you absolutely hate the show, why are you listening?
Good point.
I don't understand. Anyway, moving on. Well, at least it wasn't crypto today.
What was it today?
No, we had a little politics, but no crypto.
Oh, no crypto on the show you meant today. I thought
no crypto on the show. Crypto always gets us into trouble.
Yeah,
it's so funny. It's so funny to read the reviews and find that there are 2 things. If we ever say that the president is wrong about anything, even though I've said Biden was wrong about things, I've certainly said the Clintons were wrong about things. There were some things Obama did that I did not like. I have criticized every president that has come down the pike since I was able to critique. I mean, I remember with Nixon, I had fights with my mother about Nixon, and then I became a Republican. After that, I don't know how that happened. Oh, money, probably. Selfishness. That's why I became a Republican. It's the truth. It's the truth. I wanted lower taxes for me. Selfish me.
And that's pretty much everybody wants lower taxes for moi.
Oh, my gosh. And speaking of lower taxes, this is an aside, but what the heck? It's a podcast. The Florida legislature a few weeks ago passed a constitutional amendment to slash property taxes in Florida dramatically, with the goal to eventually, hopefully, they want to eliminate property taxes in Florida. We don't have a state income tax.
Right.
I don't know how they think the local governments are going to pay their bills, but kind of interesting. And it's going to be on the November ballot.
Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And people are just, sure, I don't want to pay that.
I don't want to know. I bet it passes. I bet it needs 60%, by the way, to become 60, a constitutional amendment.
Getting 60 on anything is tough.
But I still think because people vote their self-interests. I mean, I looked at it and went, holy cow, this could save me like $1,000 a year. Initially, the first round.
Yep.
And I'm going, so do I vote my self-interest or do I vote what I believe is better for my community? I don't know. What should I do? I'm going to ask the listeners.
You're going to vote what's right for your community. Come on, I know you.
I probably
You're involved in
will.
your community. So, all right, shall we get to the questions?
Okay, by the way, the questions came in at talkingrealmoney.com, talkingrealmoney.com. These are the ones that you typed. If you type them, they go on the Monday through Thursday shows. If you go and hit the record button in the corner of the mic and you speak them, they go on the Friday Q&A show. So here are some of those typed ones that Tom just loves riffling between his fingers.
Riffling between the fingers. From Hartselle, Alabama. Jamie writes, in the latest episode...
Hartselle.
Oh, I was wondering about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard sell.
Hartselle. How about that? In the latest episode, you asked if anyone's employer matches with the Roth contribution. My employer's 401k is with John Hancock, and they do match 50% of my Roth 401k contribution. In other words, we had first I didn't even know that was legal, so I'm shows you how out of time I am, and I didn't know anybody doing it. So a few people have written and said, yeah, my employer matches with the a Roth contribution rather than a pre-tax one. There's a change in the last few years, so that's really great. But then Jamie went on, since I'm already here, a little weird, but you're not actually here. But since you're already writing a question,
he's kind of here. He was there he was there in the moment.
Okay. Says, I'm 54, started a Roth IRA with Fidelity this year and plan to max it out each year. If I retire in the year I turn 59, could I go ahead and take distributions from it without penalty even if I'm not 59 and a half.
Kinda.
You can take the contributions out.
You can take the contributions out. You can't take the earnings out.
Yeah.
Or the gains, the increase in value.
But if you did a conversion, you could not. But so yeah, you can go. Why would you do that though? Why would you save for the next 5 years and then start taking the money out? That doesn't make sense.
I don't think. See, that's not taking advantage of the biggest benefit that these accounts provide, which is tax-free, compounded growth.
Yep. So I would leave that there and probably pull money from another place. Says, thanks for all you do. Enjoy the podcast and hope to get Don's Civil War book soon. I ordered it today.
Oh, he ordered it today.
Yeah.
I was going to say you ordered it a while ago. You ordered a bunch of them. You ordered 15 of them.
I know. I've been giving them away. They're hotcakes here in the office.
He skewed my sales numbers.
I popped them right up there. I love it.
For that one day. It was a good day.
Well, I got to find somebody else to do 15 tomorrow.
15 books. How much did I make on that? I made like 70.
Wait, I got to get a read. How much?
I made about $70.
Wow. Okay. Well, every $70 helps. From Blacksburg, Virginia. Isn't that the
home of the Hokies?
Yeah.
You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself
Don's
around.
Spouse went there.
I am what they call at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. I am what they call a spokey.
Because you're a spouse of a Hokie?
I'm a spouse of a Hokie. I'm a spokey.
I never heard that before. Armindo.
I love Blacksburg. Is a beautiful town, by the way.
Never been. Hi, Don and Tom. Great show. And you are the rock stars of financial podcast, bar none. Well, Armindo, pretty much we're going to do anything you say after that. You know that. So
you're right about everything, and thanks for writing.
Thank you. I was listening to one of your podcasts from 2021. Wow, we did this podcast in 2021?
Were we were doing it then? Yeah, we've done it for a long time.
About Roth conversions, and you advised your caller to let his traditional individual retirement account grow forever, and when he passes the kids can take care of the taxes due on his IRA, and they can enjoy the free money. Do you still maintain the same belief? In other words, many people want to convert everything over to Roth, pay the tax, so their kids get money tax-free. So they're trying to decide
that hurts you and your retirement that you've been working. Unless you're just so rich.
Well, listen.
I just have so darn much money that I don't.
You
need
may
it.
think that when I tell you what Armindo's got. He's 69. Or pardon me, it's a she. I do apologize. She's 69. Hubby is 72, and they have $3.6 million in IRA, $670,000 in Roth, $215,000 in brokerage, and about $112 in cash or cash equivalents.
No, they're not that kind of rich.
Bracket.
They're not that kind of rich.
Sorry?
They're not that kind of rich where you just can willy-nilly convert Roth IRAs so your kids don't have to pay taxes over 10.
That's not the reason to do it.
No, it's a terrible reason to do it. If you're doing it for you,
situation over time, sure. If you're doing it because you want to stay in the 22% bracket for a period of time and you don't want your RMDs, then maybe that does make sense to fill it all the way up there, do that. But just to do it for your kids, I have the same opinion.
No. Yeah. They could take it out over 10 years.
Right.
And pay the taxes over 10 years. And that means that, for every $100, they end up with $75 after taxes, basically.
Yeah.
Good for them.
And it might bounce them into another bracket. It's okay. Still, I don't think that's a big deal. By the way, Armindo adds, hey, Tom, keep up the soccer talk, especially now with the World Cup just days away. So this was sent before the World Cup started, which is now started. I know we're all sitting around our sets every day watching numerous games, debating VAR calls, trying to decide whether it really was offside or not. Don's been
I don't even know.
Lot,
I to this day, Tom has taken me to some soccer matches.
That's true.
We've gone to several, and I try to understand how that was offsides and that wasn't.
Well, the first problem you have is no S at the end of it. It's just offside. So.
Oh my gosh! You mean there's only one side?
If you knew the laws of the game, then you'd be okay with it.
And here's the other problem I have with football.
Yes.
Is that they don't call them rules. They're so pretentious they call them laws.
That's right.
It's almost biblical. It's like Moses came down from the mount with tablets establishing soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did the Ten Commandments and the FIFA laws.
We put it back together for him. So.
Who decides what the laws are? Who is the lawgiver in the soccer world?
I thought that was back to Congress. I thought that was their job. So I don't know. Yeah.
I try.
Anyway, thank you for the question.
Dude, I try so hard. I have
know you do.
MLS.
I know you do. You've
I have the
watched
MLS
games.
thing on Apple.
I know.
I've gone to the Orlando City games.
You've gone to you've seen the U.S. men's national team play. I was there with you.
I have. I've watched the Seattle Sounders play.
That's true. You've been there at Lumen Field.
I've watched games on the telly.
You were a luminary at Lumen Field. I just thought of that.
And, watching them on the telly is actually easier than watching them on the real pitch thing.
How's that?
Look, I called it a pitch because the field is so damn big.
Yeah. How do you think I feel running all over that field, huh?
Oh, my God. I don't know how you do it. And then I watched this 3D thing on my Apple Vision Pro about Barcelona. Was it Barcelona? No, it was Real Madrid.
Yeah.
About their stadium and their team. Their stadium is so amazing.
The Bernabeu?
Strips of the field move up and down.
That's right. Yeah.
They hide them down below where they nurse them into perfection. They actually have a dude who rolls balls on it to make sure it's perfectly level and flat. It's an obsession.
Yeah. Well, there's big money involved in all this, as you may know. So speaking of,
that'd be like seeing some greenskeeper on an NFL field down there with a pair of scissors snipping the little.
That one's quarter-inch too tall.
Yeah, that's what they do it in soccer, apparently.
Yeah, well, it's very important. The ball has to go
because
perfectly.
It's not just rules; it's laws.
The laws.
You could go to jail if the field is bumpy. It's a law.
It's a law. Pay attention to the law.
It's a law, dang it. All right, look at the time. Oh, I think that means we have to end.
I think it does.
We try to keep these somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes.
About the average dog walk, because it seems like that's where most people are doing their listening.
Dog walk, commute. A lot of people commute with us. It's like I'll give you an analogy and a plug. It's kind of like an audiobook. Audiobooks are nice. They're good. You're on a long trip or whatever, but short stories. Our audio short stories are so much nicer for short trips and, standing in line and that kind of stuff, which is why I do all these short story podcasts that need more listeners, by the way.
Oh, okay.
They do. I was looking.
Plugs.
Well, no, this is because here's the thing. There's a guy, and I'm not going to say who he is, but he does a short story podcast. He does like 2 a week. And he's got so many listeners. And I've listened to him, and I try to listen with a critical ear. He's horrible. He's a terrible narrator.
But he does 2 a week.
And yet he has more listeners than I do, and it bothers me.
I could get that impression.
It bothers me. Lots more listeners.
Yeah.
I work really hard on my short stories. I even write some of them, so... Go check out. If you want to find them all, here's the easiest way. Go to shortstoryverses.com or just go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and look for me. Just look for me.
The picture just pops up there.
Does it really? Well, now I better. Oh, hold on. I may be wrong. Before I say that, I'm going to check, see if my name does come up. It may not be me. Let's see. Don McDonald. No, it really doesn't. So look for lit reading or short story verses.
L-I-T, not L-I-P, by the way.
Lit reading. I'm going to have to change the name.
It's confusing.
Because it bothers Tom.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's just a branding guy. It's kind of a concern. That's all. So
it means reading literature.
I understand. Reading literature. So I get it.
We got to go now. We're done. Apparently we are done talking real money.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast were current on the date recorded. Opinions, estimates, forecasts, and statements of financial market trends that are based on current market conditions constitute our judgment and are subject to change without notice, including any forward-looking estimates or statements which are based on certain expectations and assumptions.
Although information and opinions given have been obtained from or based on sources believed to be reliable, no warranty or representation is made as to their correctness, completeness, or accuracy.
Information presented on the podcast is not personalized investment advice from Appellate Wealth. The views and strategies described may not be suitable for everyone. This podcast does not identify all the risks, direct or indirect, or other considerations which might be material to you when entering any financial transaction. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and profitable results cannot be guaranteed. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. The podcast is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Wealth, a fee-only registered investment advisor.
Please see Appella Wealth's ADV Part 2A on our website for information regarding Appella's fees and services.
Appella Capital, LLC, DBA Appella Wealth, is an investment advisory firm registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The firm only transacts business in the states where it is properly registered or excluded or exempt from registration requirements. Registration with the SEC or any state securities authority does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Appella does not provide tax or legal advice, and nothing either stated or implied here should be inferred as providing such advice. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and important disclosure related to performance of any specific index or fund quoted in this podcast. I think I need a nap.